Hello everyone, it's me again actually. Today we are here for a physical review, our first physical review for the Enlightened Book Club. Like I said at the beginning of the year, we set out a goal to read a minimum of 4 books before the first half of the year. And yay, we have achieved our goal. And right now we are here for our first physical review. We'll be reviewing the book The Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. And we'll be doing a little recap on the books we have read previously. I have with me here Onize, one of my friends and a member of our group club. She was really excited and cheering me on about today's event. And, we look forward to a very impactful event while we expect the remaining members who are on their way. Thank you very much. Very quickly, to this book, Battlefield of the Mind, what was your opinion of the book, the title of the book? And have you read any of Joyce Meyer's book? Do you know her? Do you listen to her messages?
Yeah, I've heard of her before, but I don't think I've heard people make reference to her in conversations, but I have not really read her book or listened to any of her mess. I think I have. I can't really remember what it's about.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I saw this book, I think the title is kind of explanatory. I don't know what
yes, it is.
So I already knew that it's trying to highlight what goes on in the mind, like things that goes on in the mind. And like I said, I perused it. Not really, I didn't deep dive into it. And I wasn't wrong. It's just essentially trying to tell us that we should be aware that there are battles going on in our minds, which is either positive or negative. And a lot of people who hit to the negative side are usually the underachievers, and it's not really because they do not want to achieve their dreams, but because they give in to those negative thoughts, so they end up becoming frustrated and not reaching the goals that they set to.
That's true. That's a very great summary for perusing. So imagine if you had read the book, you would have so much to say. And the truth is that our mind is a battlefield, like this book says clearly. Joyce has a very interesting story. I mean, Abraham can attest to the fact that there was a certain time in our house what we only used to watch TBN, Dove, what's the other one? Faith, Trinity Broadcast is TBN, and all of those channels. So I think that's how we got to know Joyce. Then I think MD brought some of her books and all of that. So Joyce has a very peculiar story. Joyce went through, a whole lot. Joyce, from a young age, suffered abuse by her father. Then when she got to like 18 or maybe 17, she vowed that she was going to break out of her father's hold by getting married, because that was the only legal reason for her to leave her father. And she got married to a wrong person, very bitter man. So it was like she was living fry pan to fire. So Joyce, in short, the rejuvenated Joyce, when she's talking, you'll be like, if Joyce did not know Christ, it's going to be a tsunami, because Joyce is never tripped about anything. She's really old now. She's like in her 80s or maybe 70s, but she's old. And when she got married to the wrong person. I think he also was full of negativity and he was just bitter. And she had a son from that marriage, but she eventually had the courage to divorce the man. So eventually she got into I think, was it a petrol attendant job, one of these jobs, and her current husband, I don't know, I pray my husband is like Dave, because the Dave she tells us about is like, Dave is so positive. Dave is so happy. Dave is was her exact opposite. So when he used to come around, a little too frequently to the shop, she was like, who is even this man? She doesn't even used to notice anything. But one day he had the courage to stop her, and he was like, I'm really interested in you. I like you. He said, you can't like me. You don't even know who I am. I've been through a lot. And he was like, okay, there's nothing God cannot do. We can start once with her. She's like, please, baby, please, just leave me alone. I've heard all this before. And he was so persistent and consistent, and she gave in, but she was so raz. She was like, Dave, if you are marrying me, everybody comes with their baggage, and this is my baggage, like she was referring to her son, and if you get me, you get him too. That if not that she mentioned that her son was not Dave's son, I'd actually seen the boy having a resemblance with Dave, because I mean, he's the only person he has known as father because he grew up with him. Like I could see like their physical attribute. I don't know if it was in my mind, but before she mentioned it, I could literally swear that like this is his son. They're so rubbed off on this boy. They got married. They're like 50 years in marriage now. They got married. They were so happy. But the first years of her marriage, she couldn't enjoy her marriage. She was always thinking that something is going to go wrong. Like, I don't deserve this. Like, is this even true? What did I ever do to deserve this? Then shortly after, God will call her into ministry and Dave will be helping her. She's outspoken. Dave rather be behind the scene. That's why the ministry is Joyce Meyer and not maybe Dave and Joyce. Dave just wants to root for her behind the scene and he's fine. He doesn't want to get the credit for anything. And she's like, this man is not even real. So the first years of their marriage, she will just be packing cobwebs that are non-existing, cleaning. Everywhere is clean. The children are happy, going to the park. She's like, why are people always so happy? The man is like, just let yourself be. She said, it's not even possible. How can I be so free? He said, this is the way. Whether you believe it or not, just believe. He said, is it that simple? He said, this is the life Jesus can offer you. So yes, she wrote this book from experiential knowledge about what she has been through. There's a place in the Bible that says that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They are mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. We have strongholds in our mind that we have built as a result of our experiences, our background, the things that have even been pushed down to us unintentionally, inadvertently by our parents, our siblings, the things that we inherit. So do you know that it's almost a miracle for you to break out of those kind of thought patterns, but it's not impossible. And Joyce would always say that anything that's seemingly impossible is miracle material, is what God even loves. So I started reading Joyce's devotional in 2018, right? Two of them. It says, and one of it is trusting God each day, and the other is trusting God daily, and the other is closer to God each day. I think I have one here. I still go back to it, even though it's 365 days, one for a day. So, there's something about this devotionals. First day you read it, be like, this is too simple. Is this all? It's like, but just like the word of God says in 2 Corinthians 3:18, we all with open faces beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, we are transformed into that same image from glory to glory by his spirit. Gradually you see yourself being transformed. I remember reading those books and Joyce, she'll say something that stands out for me is that she cannot stand complaining. And let me not lie, before I used to complain, anything needs to, as in I would think of chores in my head. I'm already stressed out before the day even begins. But now, I literally cannot stand complaining. When they increased fuel and they're like fuel subsidy, my colleagues gathered and they were talking. I wasn't saying anything. In short, I even wanted to go to driving school that June. They said, Mary, I know that you want to drive. They have increased fuel. It's that you don't even complain. I'm like, it doesn't solve the problem. Do you get? If the sun is hot and you are saying, oh my God, this sun is so hot. This sun is so hot. What am I going to do today about the sun? You can't do nothing about the sun. There are two options. You stand up, you go about your business, trusting God to give you strength. Or you lie down back and not do anything about it. But for you to complain, there's something about complaining. If you want to try it, try a day waking up and saying, today I'm going to make sure I don't complain, right? Regardless of what comes my way. I try to substitute complaining with thanksgiving. So I'm saying, oh my God, this task is very hard, but God, I thank you that I have strength to do this task. She said something like, oh God, I acknowledge that I could have woken up early. My alarm went off, but I was very irresponsible and I slept a bit more. I understand that this is my fault. Oh my God, thank you so much for coming. Good afternoon. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Fine. It's been like 1 year or so since I last saw you.
Yeah.
This is my friend Jennifer from RCCG. Don't you know her? Okay, Jibo knows her. I just came and we're going to continue from where we stopped. We're talking about the book, how Joyce decided or made a very conscious effort to leave her old ways of complaining and being very negative as opposed to... It's the way... So I was just telling Onize that there are mornings when I wake up and maybe my alarm went off and somehow I decided to be irresponsible and sleep a bit more. And then I come out and Kubo traffic is very thick and I start complaining. If I start the day on a wrong foot by complaining, Usually we complain about things that we have no control over. We complain about the sun. We complain about, our salary that is not so so huge. We complain about things that we really, okay, there are certain things that we can make a conscious effort to change, but there are other things that we really can't do anything about. So I'm just giving an instance. If I complain about the traffic that I really don't have any power to control, what I could have done was to wake up earlier so that I can beat traffic. But if I start on a wrong foot by saying, oh my God, this traffic is so bad, I'm going to get to work so late, today is just going to just not be so productive because some hours have been spent in traffic, then that's exactly how my day is going to go, because that's the power of my tongue. So I realized that before midday, my energy is sapped, regardless of if I even have breakfast or not. It's just something complaining does to us. So the essential idea of this book is that our mind has strongholds in them, and God has not left us without the power to pull down those strongholds, right? So the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, they are mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. So on the contrary, we can start the day by saying, God, I know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I'm a bit late today, but if you give me grace, tomorrow I'll be more disciplined. I would wake up early. I would, pack my bag on time. I would put my lunch in the fridge and I'll set out early. I'll make a change, but please help me through today. You realize that, it's even some kind of brokenness to tell God that in myself I'm inadequate. Please help me, right? But we try to control these things by ourselves, which is completely impossible. Have I read any of Joyce's book aside from this one? Do you know Joyce Meyer? Do you follow her ministry?
Yeah, I follow her, but not very well. There's
Okay.
this book I've read.
Confident woman?
No, something broken heart.
Okay. So
So giving joy to the broken heart or something. Someone gave me when I finished NYS.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for this one in particular, were you able to skim through? Did anyone cut any chapter in particular pique your interest?
I got it.
Okay, so you have no clue what the book is about. All right. Okay. So can she sit somewhere? Sure.
That's if you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a video.
It's video.
Inside the video. Maybe when we're done, we'll probably take pictures. Yeah. Of your mind. The Bible itself says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. You have to guard your heart. You have to understand that, yes, day in, day out, the environment, from social media to your environment, everything is presenting you with, on a platter, what you should accept or what you should reject. But I want you to understand that you are powerful. Somebody says that our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, but it's that we are powerful beyond measure. You are powerful, oh. Like, you can open your phone, you can flip through your phone in the morning and, it's telling you from... Okay, so I turned off my notification on my phone for everything because, especially Opera mini news, 7 involved in a car crash, 20 died, 7 poisoned, everything. You're like, oh my God, just take me because I can't do it anymore. So I turned out that notification because I need to select what I'm feeding my soul with, my mind with. So yeah, your mind is important. And you are as powerful as you think you are. You can control what comes in and what goes out of your mind. There are certain channels you shouldn't follow because it's you that would select this channel to subscribe to on your YouTube. The feeds that you get on your Facebook is dependent on what you search on your Google. The ads that pop up on your phone is dependent on what you searched previously. So please understand that your mind is powerful and your mind is a battlefield. It's a vital necessity. And the trick is that you don't have to do it all at once. You can take baby steps. Very recently, I saw somebody post something about baby steps. We think baby steps are little steps, but she said in reality, baby steps are even very courageous steps. What tells a child who has never walked before that, he can try from here to here? Babies fall, but they don't give up. They understand that I have to pick myself up, I have to try again. So just little by little, even when the Israelites left the Egypt, God told them that there is another route that was shorter. But when they go through that route and they see the wall, they would turn back to Egypt. So instead of going through that place, they will go through another route. Before their own complaining and murmuring now made it 40 years, there was actually another place that was supposed to be like maybe a few days. So it's little by little. Then he also said, I will not drive out the beast from the land so that, no, I will not drive out the enemies from the land so that the beast doesn't invade the land. I will drive out your enemies little by little. So it's even better for you to give yourself achievable goals, little goals, measurable goals, realistic goals. You can start out to read the Bible for a year. If you fail, it doesn't mean, oh my God, I'm the worst failure. Just try. Tell yourself something like a chapter a week is more achievable than 2 chapters or, some outrageous. Who is keeping scores anyway? It's your personal progress. It's your personal journey. So please just do it the way, what that works for you. She also talked about a wandering mind. And it's as a result of not feeding your mind with the right thing. You know that you cannot have she talked about a passive mind, a wandering mind. It's your mind, just your head going different places. But she also said, there's something she said, think about what you're thinking about. Think about what you're thinking about. So today you can wake up and say, oh my God, a lot happened yesterday. Do I really want to think about yesterday that I have no control over? Or do I want to think about like as the Lord lives, the 70 years or 80 years that he has given me that I can actually control? So the 3 things that we are in complete control of are our choices, our efforts, and our attitude. So today I choose to let the past go. I have no control over what happened yesterday. I quarreled with my colleague. Okay, I can be the bigger person and say I'm sorry and I'm starting on a new leaf. It doesn't take anything from me. So let's just do that. Then that wilderness mentality thing that I was talking about, a couple of things can make us to, quote and unquote, stay in the wilderness, which is we can be wandering in the wilderness, going around in circles, not making any kind of progress because we have decided not to. Among the things that in the wilderness mentality is an entitled mindset. Somebody has to do this for me or else, this is not. It's the entitlement that, oh my God, I never asked to be born and I'm here. And oh my God, look at my life. Oh, the sun is really coming out. Look at my life. I'm so poor. What? See, Bishop people will always say that you are solely responsible for the outcome of your life. Nobody is to be blamed, not even the devil. Okay, so I've been warned by my cameraman to summarize. Okay, so the summary remains that you are solely responsible for the outcome of your life, that you have the power to break free from every kind of strongholds that have been built in your mind over the years based on your experiences, based on, your family background or whatever it is. People have gone ahead of us and they have been able to break free and break out. They have shown us practical steps by their books, their teachings, their messages. Start little by little wherever you are. God sees you. He's intentional about you and he will definitely help you. I'm rooting for you. We're all praying for you. We are the Enlightened Book Club. We love you very much. Thank you so much.
And God loves you more.
And God loves you more. So, bye. See you in our next review.